welcome all the semester 3 students of our department. And today, in a special DS, we are going to celebrate Poetry Day, National Poetry Day. And you all have come with this very interesting idea of celebrating this Poetry Day. Normally, this National Poetry Day is celebrated on Thursday, first Thursday of the month of October. This time it was on 1st of October, that was yesterday, but yesterday you all had NET exam, so we're not able to schedule a meeting, online meeting for that. So today, on the next day, that is 2nd October, we are meeting here to celebrate this National Poetry Day. So I request Seema Rathod to carry on with the event.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm Seema Rathod, student of English department. Welcome you all in the DS of National Poetry Day. So, today we are going to celebrate virtually the National Poetry Day. There are no set rules for how to mark the occasion. You can read some poetry, you can perform it, you can write a poem, or you can pop along and listen to someone read theirs. So, this is the thing we are going today. So, for poetry recitation, first, I'm inviting my classmate Ruchi Joshi, and the title of her poem is Daddy by Sylvia Plath. Ruchi, please welcome.
You do not do. You do not do any more black shoe. You do not do any more black shoe in which I have lived like a foot. For 30 years, poor and white, barely daring to breathe, or echo. Daddy, I had to kill you. You died before I had time, marbly heavy, a bag full of God, ghastly statue with a one great toe, big fresco seal, and a head in a fracky Atlantic. In the waters of a beautiful nutsack, I used to pray to recover you. In the German tongue, in the Polish town, scraped flat by a roller of wars, but the name of a town is common. My Polak friend says there are dozens or two. So I never could tell you. So I never could tell you, put your foot, put your root. I never could talk to you, and the tongue stuck in my chew. It stuck in a barbed wire snare. Ich. I could hardly speak. I thought every German was you. I began to talk like a Jew. I think I may well be a Jew. The snores of a Tyrol, the clear beers of Vienna are not the very pure or true. With my gypsy and stress and my weird luck and my tarot pack, I may be a bit of a Jew. I have always been scared of you, Daddy. I have always been scared of you with your Luftwaffe, with your Glob Yogo, and your knit mustache and your iron eye, bright blue. Panzerman, oh you Daddy, Panzerman. Not God, but a swastika, so black, no sky could squeak through. Every woman adores a fashionist. The boot in face, the brute heart of a brute like you, Daddy. You stand at the blackboard, Daddy. In the picture I have of you. But no less a devil for that. Not any less the black man who beat my red heart in two. I was 10 when they buried you. At 20, I tried to die and get back to you. I thought even the bonds would to you. But they pulled me out to the snack. And they stuck me together with the glue. And I knew what to do. And I knew what to do. I made a model of you. A man in a black with a min frack look. And I love of the rack and the screw. And I said, I do. So, Daddy, I'm finally with you. The black telephones of a root. The voices just can't burn through. If I have killed one man. If I have killed one man, I have killed two. The vampire who said it was you and they drank my blood for the 7 years. If you want to know, Daddy, you can lie back now. There is a stake in your flat black heart and the villagers never liked you. They are dancing and the stamping on you. They always knew it was you, Daddy. You bastard, you bastard, I am through. Daddy, you do not do, you do not do anymore. You do not do, Daddy. You do not do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great, 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 Ruchi. Great, as usual. It was like Sylvia Plath is doing that. Really, really great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruchi. After that, after this power-packed recitation of Ruchi, the poem of Sylvia Plath, I would like to call my classmate Kavisha Alagya to recite her poetry, and the title is Eve to Her Daughters. Kavisha, please come.
Hello everyone and greetings on this Poetry Day. Today I am going to recite a poem by poet Judith Wright. Judith Wright is an Australian poet, and part of her achievement lies in her ability to express ideas and personal emotions or personal reactions to all the epics or myths. Through a Marxist lens, Wright criticizes the separation of social classes in Australia. It was her critical ability to criticize this kind of social classes, and she conveys this through her poem Eve to Her Daughters, which is published in 1966. So here we go with the poem. It was not I who began it, turned out into draughty caves, hungry so often having to work for our bread. Hearing the children winning, I was nevertheless not unhappy. Where Adam went, I was fairly contented to go. I adapted myself to the punishment. It was my life. But Adam, he kept on brooding over the insult, over the trick they had played on us, over the scolding. He had discovered a flaw in himself and he had to make up for it. Outside the Eden, the earth was imperfect. The seasons changed, the game was fleet-footed. He had to work for our living and he didn't like it. He even complained of my cooking. It was hard to compete with heaven. So he said to us, the earth must be made a new Eden with central heating, domesticated animals, mechanical harvesters, combustion engines, escalator, refrigerators, and multiplied opportunities for self-investment, and higher education for Abel and Cain. And the rest of family, you can see how his pride had been hurt. In the process, he had to unravel everything because he believed that mechanism was the whole secret. He was always mechanical minded. He got to the very inside of whole machine, exclaiming that he went so that he is how it works. And now that I know how it works, why? I must have invented it. As for God and the other, they cannot be demonstrated. And what cannot be demonstrated doesn't exist. You see, he had always been jealous. Yes, he got to the center where nothing at all can be demonstrated. And clearly he doesn't exist, but he refuses to accept the conclusion. You see, he was always an egoist. It was warmer than this in the cave. There was none of this fallout. I would suggest, for the sake of the children, that it's time you took over. But you, my daughters, you inherit my own faults of character. You are submissive. Following Adam, evolved beyond the existence. Faults of characters have their own logic and it always works out. I observed this with Abel and Cain. Perhaps the whole elaborate fable right from the beginning is meant to demonstrate this. See, here in this poem, the patriarchy is at the center. And this is what Judith Wright is trying to criticize. The poem further goes, perhaps it's the whole secret. Perhaps nothing exists but our faults. At least they can be demonstrated. But it's useless to make such a suggestion to Adam. He has turned himself into God. who is faultless and doesn't exist. Thank you. This was this poem, wonderful poem where patriarchy is highlighted right from Adam to the present day. Still, we are living in modern age, but we are experiencing this patriarchy. And Eve is trying to emphasize her feelings that it's our fault that we are not doing anything. It's our fault that we haven't raised our voices and try to be submissive, try to look for an opportunity that we can please men, and we have the ability to please men, and we have to please men. Why to be a people pleaser if we have this opportunity to raise our voice and turn against our patriarchy? Thank you. This was all.
Yes, I agree with you, Kavisha. Thank you so much. Like, why do we have to do what men want us to do? We have our own dreams. We have our own situations. Yes. So let's not talk about it now. So moving further, I would like to call Tamsa Pandya to recite a poem. And the poem of and the title of her poem is "The Pride of the People." Tamsa Pandya, please welcome.
Very good afternoon to everyone. So first of all, well, greetings of the National Poetry Day to all. And as we know that many things are going around in our front of our eyes, that what was happened with Manisha Valmiki, and for that I'm come up with this poetry, metaphorical poetry. The title is "The Bread of the People," and the bread of the people. Justice is the bread of the people. Sometimes it's plentiful, sometimes it's scarce. Sometimes it tastes good, sometimes it tastes bad. When the bread is scarce, there is hunger. But when the bread is bad, there is distant. Throw away the bad justice baked without love. Throw away the bad justice which is baked without love and nicked with the knowledge. Justice without flavor, and with the grey crust, the stale justice will come too late. If the bread is not good and not plentiful, the rest of the meal cannot be excused. One can have a plenty of everything all at once, and nourished by the bread of justice, the work can be achieved from which plenty comes. As daily bread is necessary, so it is daily justice. It is even necessary several times a day, from morning to night at work, enjoying oneself at work, which is an enjoyment. In hard times, in a happy times, the people requires the plenty of wholesome in a daily bread of justice. Since the bread of justice, then it is so important, who friend shall uh, uh, back it. Who friend shall back it. And like the other bread, the bread of justice must be baked by the people. Like the other bread, which justice may be baked by the people as well, plentiful, wholesome, and daily. Thank you. This is what my poem. It is about the metaphorical idea of justice by with the metaphor of daily bread. And from that poem, I would like to say that we must stand against and use our democracy in the way of speaking, in the way of reciting, in the way of putting the things in our daily, like we are celebrating this poetry day and including the several points which are running around us. So take the advantage of surroundings, and we are celebrating this poetry day and including everything. So thank you very much once again. The warmest wishes of the day.
Yes, Tamsa, thanks a lot. After that, I would like to call Ravina Parmar for the poetry recitation. And the title of her poem is "Still I Rise" by Maya Angelou.
Afternoon. On this occasion, National Poetry Day, I would like to recite Maya Angelou's one of the famous poems, "Till I Rise." You may frighten me, maturity. Leader, but still, like you, my research just like moons and like suns. Have the certainty of time. The hope or singing high. I will try. You want to see me broken? Hurt? And so, don't you set me awful hard with a laugh like I have seen my own back. Made me
I think, Ravina, there is some network problem, so we're not able to listen you clearly. Are you others able to listen her clearly?
No, sir.
Audibility, there is a problem. So you are not audible. Yes. So everybody has the same problem, that there is some network problem in your place. So your voice is not coming up clearly.
hello.
She, I think, is not able to be. Even her video is freezed. Yeah. Okay,
So,
take the next one. Yeah.
yes. After that, I would like to call Hina Malik to present her Gujarati Ghazal by Amrut Ghayal. Hina, please welcome.
યસ અમૃત ગઝલ કેમ ભૂલી ગયા દટાયો છું આમ ઇમારતનો હું પાયો છું હું હજી પૂર્ણ ક્યાં કટાયો છું અડધો પડધો જ ઓળખાયો છું વિસ્તર્યા વીણ બધે છાયો છું હું અજબ રીતથી ઘવાયો છું આમ તો એક બિંદુ છું કિંતુ સપ્ત સિંધુથી સંકળાયો છું સૂર્યની જેમ સળગ્યો છું વર્ષો ચંદ્રની જેમ ચોંટવાયો છું વડ નથી વિપ્ર આ જનોઈનો આમ હું આડેધડ કપાયો છું રામ જાણે શું કામ હું જ મને સર્પની જેમ વીંટળાયો છું એ જ છે પ્રશ્ન કોણ કોનું છે હું મારો નથી પરાયો છું સાચું પૂછો તો સત્યના પંથે ખોટી વાતોથી દોરવાયો છું ઉચકે કોણ પંથ ભૂલ્યાને આપમેળે જ ઉચકાયો છું મીંડું સરવાળે છું છતાં ઘાયલ શૂન્ય કરતા તો હું સવાયો છું થેન્ક યુ
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot, Hina. After that, I would like to call Nishtha Makwana to recite her poem. And the title of the poem is Don't Be Beautiful by Nikita Gill. Welcome, Nishtha.
Am I audible, Seema? Clearly?
Yes, Nishtha. Yes, Nishtha, clearly.
Hello, everyone. On the very special occasion of National Poetry Day, I would like to recite a very short poem by Nikita Gill. The title is Don't Be Beautiful. They keep saying that beautiful is something a girl needs to be. But honestly, forget that. Don't be beautiful. Be angry, be intelligent, be witty, be clumsy, be interesting, be funny, be adventurous, be crazy, be talented. There are an eternity of other things to be other than beautiful. And what is beautiful anyway? A set of letters strung together to make a word. Be your own definition of amazing always. It is so much more important than anything beautiful ever. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Nisha. After Nisha, I would like to call Asha.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, Asha, clearly.
Okay. First of all, greetings to all. So today, on the occasion of National Poetry Day, I would like to recite one poem which is written by Asha Christensen. And it was the kind of a poem which records the efforts of a poet whenever he or she is trying to write a poem or anything, literature. So let's go through the journey that how a poetry comes out from a poetic mind. Okay, so let's begin. I pick up the pencil, but I ask myself, why? I have no story to tell, no pain, no reason to write. But staring at the blank page, a thought wanders before me. I see a spark. Reaching out to grab it, my hands stretched out as far as I can, and nothing. It's all lost, all thought, all purposes. So I stare at the paper again. For hours it seems. As I look up at the clock shining 1 p.m. I was ready to take break, standing up, fist clenched, shoulder broadened, until I was realized I had started at 12:59, and that hunched me back over while releasing a sigh. So I continued to stare, waiting for that booklet of notebook paper to work its magic, to stare back at me and blink. That is what fuels me, a sense of accomplishment that I couldn't receive from the clock. As the time slips away, I realize that I am not alone, lost and abandoned in this blank page. So when you find yourself and you are reaching for that sparkle, ready to grab it, but pull back. When you have emotion builds up inside, but you can't seem to find the words to release it and to release you. I am trapped, my feet glued to the floor. A cluttered closet of insignificant thoughts, searching for the one to set me free, to fill up the emptiness of that blank page. But this time, when I look back at that page, I see words. So when you battle with that first blank page, those words you can't seem to find, just pick up that pencil as I did mine. So thank you. Thanks to all for listening me.
Thanks, Asha. After that, it's my turn. So I'm gonna recite a poem by Kamala Das. The title is The Looking Glass. I hope I'm clearly audible, guys.
Yes, Seema, you are audible.
Yes, you are. You are.
Thank you. Getting a man to love you is easy. Only be honest about yours want as woman. Stand nude before the glass with him so that he himself the stronger one and believes it so. And you so much more softer, younger, lovelier. Admit your admiration. Notice the perfection of his limbs, his eyes, reddening under the shower. The shower, the sky walk across the bathroom floor, dropping towels, and the jerky way he urinates. All the fond details that make him male and your only man. Gift him all. Gift him what makes you woman. The scent of long hair, the musk of sweat between the breasts, the warmth of menstrual blood, and all your endless female hunger. Oh yes, getting a man to love is easy. without him afterwards may have to be faced. Living without light when you move around, meeting strangers, with your eyes that gave up their search, with ears that hear only his last voice, calling out your name and your body which once under his touch had gleamed like burnished brass, how drab and destitute. So this was a poem by Kamala Das. It was about love, lust, and the society. So thank you all for listening me. And after that, am I audible clearly?
Yes, Seema.
Thanks, Tina. After that, I would like to call Hansa Bhalia to recite a poem by Lonnie Hoots, and the title of the poem is Little Bird. Hansa Bhalia, please come. Hansa, are you there? I think she is, because of some network issues, she is not in the class. So moving further, I would like to call Ruchi Joshi to recite her own poem. Ruchi Joshi, please welcome.
Hello, friends. Title of my poem is Specs. I just hate these specs. I just hate these specs, even this frame. Perhaps only the frame. Yet I want to wear it. Yet I want to wear it to see, want to know why. What do you think? Does glass matter or frame? Or both? Or one who wears? Matters only how I see or being seen. Nothing matters. Or everything matters, which actually is the matter of society only. Words will speak, not the glasses. But society will only listen to the glasses. So pity, so poor I am. So pity, so poor I am. I just hate these pics. I just hate these specs. Even this frame. Perhaps only the frame. Yet I want to wear it to see, want to know why. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks a lot, Ruchi. It was a great poem. After that, I would like to call Hina for the recitation of an English poem. Hina, please welcome.
Thank you, Seema. The title of poem, The Indian Serenity, by P.B. Shelley. I arise from dreams of thee in the first sweet sleep of tonight, when the winds are breathing low and the stars are shining bright. I arise from dreams of thee, and a spirit in my feet hath led me, who knows how, to thy chamber window sweet. The wandering airs they faint on the dark, the silent stream. The tempest odious fail, like sweet thought in a dream. To nightingale's complaints, it dies upon her heart, as I must on thine. Oh, beloved as thou art, oh, lift me from the grass. I die, I faint, I fail. Let thy love in kisses rain on my lips and eyelids pale. My cheek is cold and white. Alas, my heart beats loud and fast. Oh, press it to thin on again, where it will break at last. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thanks a lot. Hansa, are you ready now? Hansa, can you hear me? I think she is not listening because of some network issues. Okay, moving further. For the collective views regarding poetry, I would like to call again Ruchi Joshi.
If
Thank
Ravina is ready, she can recite her poem if she is now having a good connection. Because I think that will be the last one. Views on the collected
Yes,
poem.
sir.
That will be last. So before that, any poems, then you can take. So if Ravina is ready, then you can recite your poem.
Sir, I think she is still facing some.
Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, Ravina, yes. Hello.
Yes,
No, Ravina.
hello.
Yes, Ravina.
Audible or not?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, audible. Yeah.
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay. So I will recite a famous poem by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with twisted life. You may does my sassiness upset? Why are you besides with flow? Cause I work like I have got oil wells pumping in my living room, just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope of springing highs. Still, I will rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lower eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful crisis. Does my heartiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? Cause I laugh, like I have got gold mine, digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your eyes. You may shoot me with your words. You may kill me with your heart. But still, like air, I will rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as once like have once? May hurt of through in fine. But and you die. Now,
Ravina, your voice is breaking.
I
Ravina, hello.
hello.
Ravina, your voice is breaking.
Audible?
Yes, now audible.
Okay, now it's clear.
Okay.
I am seeing and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Right.
Here, your voice is not audible.
Okay. You can continue further.
Okay, okay. So, moving further, for the last column of our today's DS, I would like to call Ruchi Joshi. She will share her views on regarding poetry. Ruchi Joshi, most welcome.
Thank you. All world, all the world lives in a two tents. Content or discontent. From the centuries, we are not the first who are discussing about the poetry. From the centuries, poetry has been tried to define in various ways. Can anyone guess what is poetry? Of course, anyone can guess. Of those who am are understanding the poetry, those who am are listening poetry, or those who am are writing poetry or expressing their views in the form of poetry. But now this question has question is stood at the summit that કહેવાય ને કે વિકટ બની ગયો છે ને એવો થયો છે. કેમ? તો કે આપણે તો એ સમયમાં જીવી રહ્યા છીએ કે જ્યાં કોમ્પ્યુટર પણ પોએટ્રી લખી શકે છે. We all know very well computer generated poetry also. અને કવિતાને જોવા જઈએ તો કવિતા વિશે વર્ષોથી એવું કહેવાય છે કે કવિતા એટલે હૃદયસ્થ. હવે આ બધી વસ્તુઓ કદાચ આપણે એવા અર્થમાં નથી સમજતા જેવા અર્થમાં કદાચ કહેવાયેલી છે, પણ આપણે એને આપણા અર્થમાં તો જરૂર સમજી શકીએ કે કવિતા કદાચ આ બધી જ વસ્તુઓ માની પણ ન શકીએ કે કવિતા એટલે હૃદયસ્થ સ્થિતિ, ઉજ્જડ વનની અંદર થયેલી તૃપ્તિ, કુહાડીથી થતા લાકડા ઉપરના ઘા એટલું ઓછું હોય એમ ક્ષણે ક્ષણનો સંવાદ. કવિતા એ તો જાણે ચેતનાનો વિસામો છે. કવિતા એટલે અસ્તિત્વનો ધબકાર, સમાજનો અવાજ, પીડા, વેદના અને દુઃખ. વર્ડસવર્થની ભાષામાં કહીએ તો સ્પોન્ટેનિયસ ઓવરફ્લો ઓફ પાવરફુલ ફિલિંગ. કોલરીજની ભાષામાં કહીએ તો પછી સેકન્ડરી અને પ્રાઇમરી ઇમેજિનેશન. એટલું ઓછું પડતું હોય એમ જોન કિટ્સ તો એવું કે it is better if poetry does not come, if it is better poetry does not come if it does not come as easy as leaves to the tree. અને આ જ વાત ભામહે કહેલી છે. ભામહ કહે છે ન કવિત્વમ ધર્માય વ્યાધયે દંડનાય વા, ન કવિત્વમ ધર્માય દંડનાય વ્યાધયે વા, કુ કવિત્વમ પુનઃ સાક્ષાત મતિમાહ મનુષ્મણા. એટલે કે કવિતા ન લખાય તો કોઈ અધર્મ નહીં થાય, એનાથી કઈ માંદા નહીં પડી જાય, એ માટે કોઈ દંડ પણ નહીં થાય, પરંતુ યાદ રાખવું જોશે કે જો કુકાવ્ય થશે તો સાક્ષાત મૃત્યુ સમાન છે. અને કદાચ એટલે જ કવિતા માત્ર તદ્વિધ આહ્લાદ કારણી નથી, હંમેશા આવું નથી થતું. અને ગુજરાતીમાં એટલા જ માટે કવિશ્રી મનોજ ખંડેરિયાએ કહેલું છે કે પકડો કલમને કોઈ પડે એમ પણ બને, ને આ હાથ આખે આખો બળે એમ પણ બને. એટલે કે કવિતા માત્ર રોમાંચ અને રોમાંસ નથી, એ તો ચિત્તમાં બળતી આગ છે. જો કવિતા ત્રસ્ત ન કરી શકે, માણસના રૂવાડા ઉભા ન કરી શકે, અને સમાજ જ્યાં આપણે જીવી રહ્યા છીએ આપણી આસપાસની પરિસ્થિતિને હચમચાવી ન મૂકે ને, તો ખરા અર્થમાં એ કવિતા નથી. અને હા, કવિતાને પ્રસૂતિ વર્ષોથી કવિતાને પ્રસૂતિની પીડા સાથે સરખાવવામાં આવે છે. એ વાત સાથે હું આજે સહમત નહીં થતા, એને હું પીડાની પ્રસૂતિ કહી દઉં કદાચ. અને એટલે જ કહી શકાય કે not the writing of poetry but also the reading or to listening or the grasp of poetry is also takes courage, or it push yourself to the place that you have never been before, or also we can consider that it tests your limits to break through all the barriers. અને એટલા માટે કહી શકાય કે કવિતા એ કાનની કળા છે. અને એટલા જ માટે આ પ્રશ્ન જે આપણે વર્ષોથી કવિતાને જે સાબિત કરવાની મથામણો, કવિતાને શોધવાની મથામણો ચાલી રહી છે, એ કદાચ વર્તમાન પેઢી માટે આ પ્રશ્ન વધારે વિકટ બન્યો છે. કારણ જે સમયની અંદર કવિતાઓને ડિફાઇન કરવાની કોશિશ થઈ છે, એ સમયની અંદર કમ્પ્યુટર્સ કવિતાઓ નહોતા લખી શકતા. હવે કદાચ કવિતાને કાનની કળાના માપદંડમાં જ માપી શકાશે. અને એટલે જ કહેવાય છે કે કાવ્યશાસ્ત્ર વિનોદેન કાલો ગચ્છતિ ધીમતામ વ્યસનેન ચ મૂર્ખાણામ નિંદ્રયા કલહે નવા. મારી વાતને હું એક વાત સાથે પૂરી કરું. વર્ષો પહેલા, બિફોર ધ સેન્ચુરીઝ, સિકંદરે એક વાર પોરસને પૂછેલું. જ્યારે પોરસ હારી ગયેલો ત્યારે સિકંદરે પૂછ્યું કે મારે તારી સાથે કઈ રીતે વર્તન કરવું. બહુ સરસ જવાબ છે કે એક રાજા કોઈ બીજા રાજા સાથે વર્તે એવી રીતે. આ જ વાતને થોડીક મારી મચડીને કહીએ તો આ જ વાત કવિતાના સંદર્ભમાં, તો આ જ વાત જરૂર છે એક માણસે બીજા માણસને પૂછવાની, એક કવિતાએ બીજી કવિતાને પૂછવાની, એક કવિતાએ માત્ર બીજી કવિતાને નહીં, એક કવિતાએ જે કવિતા સમજી રહ્યો છે માણસને પૂછવાની, અને માણસે પોતાના મગજને કે જે પોતે કવિતાને કઈ રીતે પોતાની અંદર ભરાવી રહ્યો છે. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ ફ્રેન્ડ્સ. સોરી once I would like to share with all of you. નાનું એવું છે, અછાંદસ છે, મારું પોતાનું લખેલું છે. બહુ ટૂંકું છે. પકડી ગ્રીપ ઉપર આવશું ત્યાં પૂરું થઈ જશે. વડીલે ઘરે આવીને સંભળાવી દીધું. વડીલે ઘરે આવીને સંભળાવી દીધું, લગ્ન એની મરજીથી તો થાય છે, કોઈએ કશો જ નિર્ણય લેવાનો નથી. પેલાએ કહી દીધું, પેલીએ સાંભળી લીધું. ખરું જ હતું ને, નિર્ણય તો પહેલેથી જ લેવાઈ ચૂક્યો છે, કશો જ નિર્ણય નહીં લેવાનો. થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ ફ્રેન્ડ્સ.
Thank you so much. Thank you all the participants. Thank you Bharat sir and Hina ma'am. Thanks a lot guys, and this is me signing off, and nice day. Once again, happy National Poetry Day.
Thanks a lot, Seema, Ruchi, and everybody who prepared for this particular day. And good poems, very interesting poems were recited by everybody. You tried your best also to recite it properly. Also, good observations were given by Ruchi at the end, considering various definitions of poetry and good quotes from Sanskrit, Gujarati, English were put together to see the poetry in a proper perspective also. This National Poetry Day, which is normally a national day for UK, in United Kingdom, it is celebrated as a National Poetry Day, as we marked it in the beginning. First Thursday of the month of October is decided, so date keeps on changing. Date is not static, but first Thursday is what they normally celebrate. This time it was 1st of October. It started in 1994. So very recently, this National Poetry Day of UK has started 1994 by William Sigart. If you'll see the history of National Poetry Day, you'll find that a person known William Sigart has started this. And it was suggested that there may be classroom activities, teachers get involved with this, some kind of broadcast of whatever way Poetry Day is celebrated. People can also perform poetry. Poetry performance. Remember that poem we have seen last year, Sari, Mary Sari, that poem. So that was like a street performance, and then the shooting of that is done. So performance of poetry, or even on this website, National Poetry Day website, you will find that there is a very interesting recitation of poem, and based on that somebody is painting. Camera focuses on the paper, and no human beings are visible, but somebody is making pencil sketches, and the poetry is recited in background. By the time poetry comes to an end, the recitation comes to an end, the painting also is over. So that thematic painting emerges while it is happening. So that idea also is given. So such kind of things, people can try it out to remember poetry, and in a very innovative way, this day can be celebrated. As we are not able to meet owing to the lockdown in schools and colleges, coronavirus lockdown, so we are meeting online, and we are recording this, so we'll put it on YouTube, and we'll try to make it live on Facebook also, for wider reaching out to the people that there is something like National Poetry Day in UK, and the students celebrated this day in a way. So that the theme, every year they are giving different themes also. This National Poetry Day is celebrated with specific theme. This time the theme was vision, VISION. Vision was the theme of this thing, and the punchline, the streamline was see it like a poet. See it like a poet. So see things like a poet. How would poet like to see the things? So things may be very simple, but poet will have a deep insight into it. That is seeing it like a poet. So whatever things happen in and around, but the way poet will see those things will be much deeper, and that is why the depths that the poet's insight or a vision can have is not possible to have possible by any layman or a common man. And that is why in Gujarati people say that jhan na pahunche ravi tyan pahunche kavi. So that is the depth where even the sun rays cannot reach. To that depth, that recesses of darkness, is enlightened by the vision of poetry, by the vision. So that is, it says, see it like a poet. That is the central punchline, and the theme is vision. And we when we become blindfolded, or when we go blind in terms of that white plague, white blindness. There is a interesting kind of chakachond, too much of light, which makes us blind. At that time, we require a different kind of a vision. When it is not darkness, but there is too much of light, and too much of light is blinding us. Too much of light, when it blinds, we again require the vision of a poet to see things in a much deeper way. Tamsa connected this poem with the ongoing situation about atrocities on the poor people, how the state machinery works against the poor people. On that poem was there. Justice is like a bread. So that poem, the bread of the people, justice is the bread of the people. That poem was pertaining about that also. That so this theme, vision, see it like a poet, and it tries to penetrate deeper. Deeper penetration is what is being expected when this theme unfolds in 2020 with the idea of vision and seeing it like a poet there. I would recite one poem. Here, a poem is written by Gopal Honalgere. Gopal Honalgere, and the title of the poem is How to Tame a New Pair of Chappals. How to tame a new pair of chappals. So now see, this is very trivial thing. New chappals, if you purchase, then chappal ma dunk lage, chamda nahi vastu hoy to e dunk hai. So a dunk એટલે tame કરવું, એ dunk ને tame કેમ કરવું? TAME, tame. How to tame a new pair of chappals, and see how this poet goes into looking in a deeper way. Don't leave them together. Don't allow them to talk to each other. Don't leave them together. Don't allow them to talk to each other. They may form a trade union. They may form a trade union. Don't at any time leave them near a wall clock. Don't at any time leave them near a wall clock, law books, a calendar, the national flag, Gandhi's portrait, or a newspaper. Don't at any time leave the pair of chappals near a wall clock, law books, a calendar, the national flag, Gandhi's portrait, or a newspaper. They may hear about independence. They may hear about independence, satyagraha, holidays, working hours, minimum wages, corruption. So that is part of that poem there. Don't take them to your temple. Don't take them to your temple. They may at once know, you are weak. They may at once know you are weak. Your God is false. Your God is false. And they may bite you. And they may bite you. Don't let them near your dining table. Don't let them near your dining table. They may ask for food or cast their evil eyes on your dinner. First, use them only for short walks. First, use them only for short walks. Then gradually increase the distance. They should never know the amount of work they have to do. They should never know the amount of work they have to do. Pull their tight straps loose. Pull their tight straps loose. Let them feel happiness. Let them feel happiness. They are growing bigger. Smear some old oil. Smear some old oil on the rough straps. Let them feel they are anointed. Let them feel they are anointed. Now they are good, subdued laborers. The last lines. Now they are good, subdued laborers, ready to work overtime for your fat feet. For your fat feet. This is Honal Gere, who died in 2003. Very interesting poet who writes in English. Also a very modern kind of a poem with this. But there is a vision. The vision. See it like a poet, and see how depth they try to incorporate when they try to write about this. So that was a National Poetry Day 2020 with the theme of vision, seeing it like a poet. That was there, and thank you all of you for participating in this event and making it an interesting event here. Okay, so I'm stopping the recording now.